I want to give a shout out and prayers for the people in Texas. My auntie's in Texas, and I want to make sure that she's all right. But I can't help. I cannot help but to understand the politicization. Did I say that right? The politicization. Sorry. Of how people make these tragic events happen, right? Back when California was on fire, they wanted to blame it on the Democrats and Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass and all this Democrat mismanagement, right? I don't know if y'all remember when all those planes was falling out the sky and they started talking this whole DEI shit as if them niggas had a DUI, but I don't know why DEI had anything to do with a plane crash. But hey, that's neither here nor there. They didn't stop. It was crazy. This flood in Texas, and you got some in New Mexico, has claimed a lot of lives. A lot of lives. Some people are still missing. And I just put it out there. I'm just putting it out there. You have a lot of people asking, where is the support from, like, Democrats? They're saying, hey, where are all these left-leaning channels and news stations that ain't said nothing? I mean, I think a lot of them said something, but hey, maybe they feel like they should be saying more. There was a couple videos and a couple, tweets or X. What do you call it, X? It's not Twitter no more. The messages on X, where some people seemed insensitive to the children lost in this flood. And one of the girls stated that people haven't given brown folks this kind of sympathy. Hey, I'm just saying. Don't get mad at me. Don't cancel me. But there's some there. There is some there. Because we also seen a pediatrician. A pediatrician had something to say, but she put it on political lines. She said, hey, all of you people that voted against Trump, I hope y'all are safe. That's what she said. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the water discriminated if you're left-leaning or right-leaning. But she did say that. She said, I hope all the non-Trump voters are safe in the water. But for some reason, there's this weird-ass attempt to gain this sympathy from the black community and the Hispanic community. The loss of life is tragic. We know. We're the ones that suffer a lot, immensely. And when we suffer, we ask for sympathy. We say, hey, we notice, we'll look at some data or some shit. We notice there's a lot of black folks being killed by the hands of the police. I mean, that's what the data is showing. And then the data would show that a lot of these individuals that were killed by the police were kids. And then the data would show that a lot of the kids that were killed by the police, who happen to be minorities, they never had a weapon. It could have been a phone or something, or whatever. But they fear for their lives. Now, even after all the information comes out that the kid didn't have a weapon, that it was a phone, or that Trayvon was supposed to be in that area, he only had Skittles on him, or he did have a gun on him, but it was a fake gun, like in Tamir Rice's case, right? Once all the evidence come out, the baby's gone already. The parents had buried their child. We ask for sympathy. We do. And it came in like an organization. It was crazy. It was almost like, hey, we notice all these black folks, so we just want to let y'all know that Black Lives Matter. No, these black folks they're getting killed, right? And we thought, We thought, like, shit. If we say Black Lives Matter, hey, bro, you know, who's gonna oppose that, right? Oh my God. Ironically, hey, there's a lot of people opposed to it. I guess it was just Chiron. They wish that it should have said Black Lives Matter too. Hey, hindsight 2020. With me, it's 20. I feel that. Black Lives Matter too. That way they wouldn't have something to vilify, right? But that's neither here nor there. But think about the context behind Black Lives Matter. The context behind Black Lives Matter was because we were losing our men, women, and children at the hands of the police. And a lot of motherfuckers, even today, gave us no sympathy. Called our babies thugs. Say you should have raised them. They would look at their history. Oh, didn't he have a jaywalking ticket? Like, they would make any excuse to vilify a dead minority child. Any excuse. Fatherless home. Immigrant. Hamas. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's a brown child, they will find any reason to excuse why whatever happened to that child happened. And you won't get no, oh, yeah, we're sorry. Yeah, you're right. Black lives do matter. Hey, let's stop killing all these Palestinians and we're making too many Mexican babies orphans. No. Nope. We are the butt of a joke. Ha! Black lives matter. Look at these motherfuckers. But we just lost over 120 something white people. A lot of them were kids. And there's people that don't have it in them to give that sympathy that they're asking for. We don't have it in us to bash, right? Ha ha, your baby. No. No. That's y'all. But I seen one of those posts that was criticized when she stated, don't send your black babies to go and die in that water, you know, because there was a lot of people that was volunteering to go and help these bodies out. And then, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but she was basically saying this is not our fight. We wish y'all the best, but we're not going to use our energy to help out. And I think for some it's insensitive, but we have to bury our babies all the time by ourselves. And not only do we get no help, we get laughed at. We get laughed at. So there is a nice little sloth of people in the black community that's using this as a gotcha moment. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Some of us is like, they're still dead children. Right? Right? We don't have that whole, it's Hamas. We don't have that in us. But some of us do. And I will honestly say, if you want to join this conversation, hit the link. We can have this conversation. Give your thoughts on it. Hit the link in the comments. We're going to go into this next track. But before we go into this next track, I just want to make this point. Like I said, we keep making these babies orphans, and we don't care. And for some reason, that Montanez, mine. What it do? What? For some reason, we make these babies orphans with these ICE raids. And the inhumane acts between the ICE raids, like the way you have to be mentally to go and snatch somebody while they're clinging on to their American-born baby. And you're like, I don't care. Fuck that baby. You probably don't say it, but your actions are showing it, right? It's like, damn, bro, well, her daddy going to another country, like, what? Yeah. Her mom, you're taking her mom and dad, right, to a whole other country to be deported. And then they started to think about that. They did, and I think they had sent American babies with their parents. And the way they said it is like, oh, what did y'all want us to do? Make them orphans? So we had to send them. We sent their mom. We had to send the kids. It was crazy. It was crazy how that bill that Trump signed, that big, beautiful bill, that he just, the hubris, right? With that pen, that fucking Sharpie. Like, why does he write so much? Why does he sign in a Sharpie? I don't know. That's, but 4 o'clock in the morning. Before that, it was around 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock at night. July 3rd. They did not have all the votes. They did not have all the votes for the bill. And I'm literally, bro, I was in a twilight zone. I was sitting there watching this shit, just smoking blunts at the blunt, like, oh shit, I'm clowning, like, ah, ha, 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 yeah, I ain't gonna get. Mind you, the bill doesn't affect me negatively or positively. I will make a lot of money on the bill passing. I will lose money for the bill passing. So I'm very neutral, right? But I'm sitting there clowning. I'm like, this shit ain't gonna pass, right? Because you had Republicans that they didn't count for. It was like, wait a minute. We knew 4 people wasn't gonna vote, but we know your ass wasn't gonna, like, bro. They start getting nervous, right? And when they start like changing their votes, like Republicans like had a yes and then they went to a no and all that shit. These conspiracy theories, bro, these conspiracy theories that were coming out, it was amazing. Oh, it was amazing. They're saying, Elon is over there making phone calls, threatening people. That's how they said. How dare Elon get involved and make phone calls and threaten the primary people using his money? The primary people, Elon, this is fucking scam. You're not supposed to be able to call people and threaten them. 10 o'clock, July 3rd. My time, Pacific time. So that's like 1 o'clock over there. Right. They did not have the votes. By 4 o'clock their time, so I think that was 2 hours later. 2 hours. They're scrambling, right? You can see them. They're all on the floor scrambling. It was crazy. You can hear them saying, oh, Trump is on the phone. Oh, wait, what is he doing? Mind you, it's like almost midnight on the West Coast. What the fuck you mean Trump is on the phone? I'm about to go to bed. It's over, right? I'm telling everything, it's over. Y'all not about to get this motherfucker. Y'all not gonna get the votes. What the hell? It was like 5 no's, nigga. It was like hell. You would have to have a miracle to win. A miracle. And some of the people that didn't vote that night, they were no's too. And I'm sitting here like, all right, I went to bed. Done. I was clowning like, yeah, y'all niggas is crazy. I wake up. They got all the votes. They got all the votes. What up, mine? What is that? Is that a hashtag one? I don't know what that is. I'm not familiar. They had finally got the votes, right? And I'm sitting here like, how the fuck did they get the votes? And you can, Fox News and everybody like, oh yeah, Trump was on the phone all night threatening people. Oh wait, they just, bro, it was like Fox News. Everybody was saying how this was not right for Elon to be making phone calls and threatening people. But Trump was able to call people. Lord knows what he said to these people to make them change their vote back. I wake up, they got all the votes, right? And I think they passed the bill They got all the votes by 4 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time, right? East Coast time, right? At that time, mind you, it is 2 hours, 1 hour. I think it's 2 hours, right? So it's 2 o'clock in Texas, 4 o'clock in New York, 2 o'clock in Texas. I think they was in D.C. when they were signing, but I don't know. Let me laugh. But I'm just going off what the news is saying. It almost seemed like, we can ask God, because I don't know. I wasn't there. But after they started scrambling and getting all the votes they needed, at the same exact time, the water was rising in the Guadalupe River. Mind you, in this bill is the most money ever given to a military, a police department, or any kind of deputized force. And it was given to ICE. ICE. These ICE agents. These people that are making Hispanic kids orphans and laughing about it. Sending their mom and their dad to Alligator Auschwitz. Sorry. Alcatraz. But the jokes they made about sending illegal migrants to Alligator Alcatraz. I seen some people on Twitter talking shit like, oh, what if one of them dropped them in the water with their fucking hands cuffed and they couldn't swim and the alligator got them? Ha ha. That would be funny. Ha ha. Just celebrating the death of a potential Hispanic that didn't do nothing. Like they were okay with it. Like, oh, the alligator ate them up, it'd be cool. Right? And it, mind you, they are getting all this money. And at the same exact time, Guadalupe River was rising. At the same time. As they're hoo-ha, hee-rah, let's get these Mexicans out of here. That river, mind you, this river is the border of Mexico and Texas. Before America bought the land. When California, Nevada, Arizona, and all of it, and Texas, and New Mexico was part of Mexico, the fucking border was the Guadalupe River. It's like right there. It's like a nice little... One side of the river was America, the other side was Mexico. A nice little $15 million deal happened, and we was able to secure the property of California and all the other states, and we was hoorahing that the Mexicans seceded their territory to the American powers, and then we had wrote this beautiful treaty. The treaty was called the Treaty of Guadalupe, and we said to the Mexicans on the other side of that border that we just now snatched up, and we made the Rio Grande the border. We actually promised those Mexicans that the ones that stayed on this side, they were going to be protected. They were going to become U.S. citizens. Their land, their name, the name of their land, their cities. That's why a lot of cities and street names in California are Hispanic names. They were promised that they can keep that. Of course, I don't have to get into the gold rush after that, a month after they did, but that's another story. But the Mexicans that were here were never respected. They were raped, killed and snatched up and kicked off of their property. It was the evil motherfuckers that was looking at America like, hey, well why do we care? They're not Americans. And they were stealing the property of said Mexican American citizens who became citizens through that treaty. They became citizens. They had the right to that land. Their descendants had rights to that land. But our homegrown American terrorists snatched it from them. Build like little resorts. Kind of like what Trump want to do in Gaza, little Gaza Lago. They built little resorts on the river. Look at us. Hey, I can go to my backyard and chill and just throw a fucking fishing line right off the deck. Bitch, I'm living life. Got the fucking Guadalupe River right there, my cabin, my wife, my dog, my picket fence. But we never honored the treaty. Never. So when I heard that the camps, plural, camps, they were all white. Sorry. I said that. They were all white, Christian. Camps. Yeah. All white Christian camps. First of all, how's that a thing? Right? Is that a thing? We can have that right now in 2025? And I did some research. I was looking it up, and it was like $3,200 a head. Bruh, $3,200 a head for the 4 weeks or some shit that they're going to be out there camp, or 8 weeks, whatever it is. For that short period of time, $3,200. At some places, that's mortgage for the whole summer. All months, both months. Yeah. Niggas like, I ain't about to send you to no summer camp. And it's going to cost me as much as my mortgage for. No. But it does put in perspective that these were well off white folks. So we had all white, Christian, rich people, because there was kids and adults, who perished in the Guadalupe River the day after the fucking 4th of July. The founding of this, bruh. I can't keep touching my hat. The founding. Of course, it was a different day, 1776, 4th of July, our birthday, whatever, right? That's just what it is. But we lost over 100-some white folks as we were cheering on, stealing from the American people to deport some who were American citizens, but all who were Hispanics. Of course, we had the Haitians and all of that. And for people that don't understand the Treaty of Guadalupe and how it has never been honored, if you don't believe in conspiracy theories, that's fine. If you don't believe in paranormal activities, that's fine. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. Don't believe in shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't believe in everything either. But when we have all these elected officials saying, well, the weather alerts did go off, so it couldn't have been that. We've never had no storm like this ever. So we couldn't have plan for it. Global warming is not a thing. Mind you, this is Texas, right? None of this. There's nobody who could have known this was going to happen. Right? This is how they say it. I'm like, all right. Cool. All excuses are exhausted. Can I come with a theory? No. Yes. No. It was an act of God. I think it was an act of God. But it had a lot to do with the river being the Guadalupe River and the Treaty of Guadalupe not being honored. And the victims were a lot of those people who looked like those people who stole those people's land back when that treaty was signed. And the reason I'm comfortable with saying this, mind you, if you were here earlier, I was talking about how we're black folks are the ones that have sympathy. You know, when we see dead people, especially children, we're like, fuck. But I was talking about politicizing this earlier. I think my tongue is warmed up. I couldn't say that earlier. When the fires would happen in California, we was like, damn, bro, how you just gonna bring up Gavin? How you gonna bring up Gavin? And I was the person that was trying. I was trying. I tried hard to not call Governor Hot Wheels out. I was trying. I'm like, oh, this Greg Abbott? Oh, this Texas? Oh, can we? I swear to God. I was like, hey, did he clean up the forest? Did he get the brush off the fucking floors for? Oh, my bad. That was California. That's my bad, Greg. But as I'm trying to have decorum, right? And I'm ready to get all these Republicans and their reasonings on why I feel like this is happening to their state after they was talking shit about Democratic states and making it political. I said, all right, whatever. I'm going to leave it alone. I'll be human. I'll take the high road. Right? But it sounds like with this whole spiel that I'm not taking the high road. And there's a reason. And Montanez, if you want to join this conversation, click the link in the comment. They are now, you guys, blaming this whole catastrophe on the only black dude in power, in a position of power in that whole area. They're literally trying to play the blame game. Who did it? Who did it? Who? It wasn't Governor Abbott. It wasn't fucking Ted Cruz. It wasn't any fucking Texas representative. Who's that black guy? Bro, they went straight to the black fire chief. Then called him a DEI hire. Nick, bruh. Mind you, I did research. Well, it wasn't extensive. I think he's been on the force for like 30-something years. Bro, he's like a well-known veteran of a fucking fire chief, right? But it didn't matter. You had the Charlie Kirks. You even had their department. You had firefighters coming out talking to the fucking news. Oh, yeah, I showed my chief. Hey, chief, we need to go do something. This is how he said it. Bro, this is how this nigga said it. He said he looked at his black chief, right? He didn't say black chief, but we knew he was black. That's the guy he was talking to. He said, Chief, we need to go do something. So I took my phone. I told Chief, look, Chief, and I zoomed in. I zoomed in at all them faces. I said, look at them faces. We need to go save them. Bruh. The theatrics, yes. Nigga, oh my God, they put extras on it. And they said, the chief said, nah, fuck no, we ain't going. We ain't wasting our resources, right? So they are now all coming out. They signed a petition to try to get him fired and all type of shit, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So then people start coming out like, hey, how is he a DEI hire, first of all? Second of all, he wasn't even the closest. Yo, I'm flipping shit. That fire department wasn't even the closest fire department. Mind you, it was like 13 of them in the fucking same area. 13. Nigga. 13 fire departments. Within that area. They're banging on one person. They are trying to say this one black guy is the cause for those deaths at that fucking camp. That's what they saying. So it's hard for me to have my decorum and to not understand that there may be a spiritual reasoning behind the awakening of that river. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to still try to be the guy, taking the high road. I'm going to keep my tinfoil hat conspiracy, but I'm not going to say the death of kids. No. That's beneath me. No. But I will say the river had awakened. And this is the reason why. I think that's the reason why. Them bitches can't come up with a reason. Fuck them. So I'm coming up with my own. Trump signing the bill. Watch this. Goosebumps. Shit. Goosebumps. Watch this. I don't know why I'm getting chills. I know the story. July. Right? That's where we're at, right? It was July 3rd, right? 2025. July 4th, Trump signs the bill. Right? Like around 10, because we got all the votes at like 4 in the morning. Water started to rise at 3 Texas time, right? Crazy as shit. What you see is what we call in tinfoil hatland is an anomaly that happened before. And I didn't know this. Nigga, bro, I swear to God, I was yesterday's years old when I found this out. I swear to God. Ronald Reagan, back in 1986, right? Something like that. I think it was 86. Yes, like in November. He did the same shit. He signed a beautiful bill. Mind you, in this bill, it was something that, hey, my daddy benefited from. And of course, you guys invaded Grenada, and there's other reasons why my daddy's a citizen. But we ain't gonna go there. But in that bill, in the 1986 bill, I forgot the name of it, it was amnesty. There was amnesty. Amnesty, for people that don't know, is to allow a foreigner or immigrant to have a pathway to citizenship, right? Right. You have to have been here. What was it? I think it was prior to 1982 or some shit. I forgot what. Don't let me lie to you. But the bill prior to that revision was a little more aggressive. And Ronald Reagan said, hey, man, the Simpson, what's his name? Simpson something bill. I agree with the bill. I feel it. It was just a little racist. He didn't say that. But Ronald Reagan was like, it was some things in the bill that made the bill not that good of a bill. Right? So I had to like revise it. And instead of saying verbatim, we don't want no Mexicans, we're going to say like some smooth shit. Like amnesty. That just sounded smooth. Amnesty. We're going to do like this program where they can have this pathway to citizenship. At the same time, we're going to sanction employers if they hire any undocumented immigrant. So on paper, it looked promising. right? For migrants. So shit. So America got a way to become a citizen. Ah, shit. Let's go ahead. Did you look at Ronald? No. No. It was actually purged. It was a purge on the undocumented immigrants. It was a purge on the American workforce who wanted to hire or who had already hired undocumented immigrants. They were forced to fire them because they were now sanctioned for having them as an employee. Right? Some eerie shit happens. The next fucking summer, ironically, it was in the same month. It was in the same month. July. 1987. Guadalupe River rose again. Or rose. I don't know if it was the first time or before. You know, the history books won't tell us everything. I bet you it rose before then. What was it, 35 years since 1987? My wife is 30. So somebody do some research to see if 35 years before 87, if there was another catastrophe at Guadalupe River. We'll see that later. But July 17th, 1987. 7 months after that big, beautiful bill that Ronald Reagan signed. White folks was swept out of Texas then. Ten teenagers died. 10. They had their names. They had their names at the fucking creek or something. As a memento, you know, a memorial of these people at the river. So it's not like it's a lie. So I say that to say this. As they're blaming, or they're trying to blame the black guy for the death of these 100 white kids and staff members, who was the cause of those 10 in 1987? How are y'all going to sit there and say, oh no, nobody could have knew. This could never happen. This is a once in 100 year. This is a once in 100 year storm that happened. We could have nobody ever dealt with nothing like this. Hey, stupid. Hey. I was yesterday years old when I found out that shit happened in 1987. Why aren't y'all telling people? What were the mistakes then? What? Hey, stupid. What was the community talking about back then that could have prevented this catastrophe? I don't know. I could do more research. But could they have been talking like a fucking Democrat trying to use government funds for like alarm systems? And Reagan and all of them was like, knock it off with that fucking woke shit. Ain't about to have no alarm system and nobody there. That's probably how they said it. Like, why would we spend money on an alarm system when ain't nobody there only from June to July? That's it. I ain't gonna spend no money. But this happened before. And they don't want to tell us. All they want to do is blame the black guy. And I think that's where the gloves are off. It says we can't sit back and just watch this happen and give out our thoughts and prayers because you want to just vilify us. Oh, well, fuck it then. The gloves are off. Nope. We don't care. Don't ask for our care. We're not going to sit back and have thoughts and prayers. Some of us don't even pray. But I think there was another one in New Mexico that woke up. And I just don't think it's done. I don't think it's done. So with you guys hooting and hollering and hoorah and can't wait and hope that you were able to catch it on your fucking iPhone camera, to see a fucking migrant fall in the water at alligator Alcatraz and get washed away and eaten up by an alligator? What if a staff member, not a child, the irony that one of these 100 and some odd deaths in Texas was by an alligator. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hey. The universe is a motherfucker. The universe is a motherfucker. You don't have to believe in God, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, whatever your deity is. But Mother Nature don't give a fuck. Mother Nature don't give a shit, especially when you messing with her kids. And for the river to have the same exact name of the treaty, I'm going with that one. I'm going with B. I think that's the answer. Sorry. I'm sorry. But y'all let me know. Hey, I could be tripping. You know, I'm a little conspiracy theorist. I get it. But that's my spiel. It's a lot going on with this one. There's a lot going on. You got a lot of people that are trying to point the blame instead of like helping out. I see there was some shit where Kristi Noem, she didn't want to send the money. She took too long to send the relief fund to Texas. I seen some shit where Ted Cruz didn't want to sign the bill. He said, or not Ted Cruz, but some Republicans were saying shit like, oh, if you sign this, what was it, Build Back Better plan when Biden was in office? And he was like, oh, if you sign that, Biden's going to take your house from you. So don't sign that. Even though in that bill, they would have got some of those alarm systems. Everybody's pointing the finger, right? One thing they're not doing, mind you, I have to shout out. Got to shout out my girl. One thing they are not saying, after all the shit talking, low IQ, horrible person, she's the one that came up with the name Governor Hot Wheels. Jasmine Crockett is the only one who has taken money out of her own pocket to fund the funeral of some of the people that lost their lives at Camp Mystic. While everybody's trying to blame a black guy when there was a bunch of fucking fire departments in the same area, we are all watching. We're watching. So if you don't get no fucking sympathy from us when one of ours can at least open up her fucking pocket, somebody that's never gotten y'all respect, then we don't want to hear shit. We don't want to hear your fucking crying. Oh, our baby. Because I don't think nobody, you probably had some ex-users that was coming out saying some shit, but prominent people, nobody was vilifying the babies. The situation, yes. But the little innocent Sarahs and Sams and Joeys, no. Nobody said the little thugs, like the shit y'all said about Tamir Rice. Nobody said shit about them. No, that's y'all. That's how y'all talk. But don't expect for us to be like, oh, here we come. You don't have a million Jasmine Crockett's right now. Especially when the one you got you don't deserve. So I don't give a shit about your feelings. And that's my spiel.